You can't be mad that Jesse Love won and mad that Denny lost because they're the same scenario.
The 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship ended in chaos and heartbreak for Denny Hamlin. But when the dust settled in Phoenix, the drama was far from over. Bubba Wallace's spotter, Freddie Kraft, broke his silence with a brutally honest take that no one saw coming. Now, his words are echoing through the NASCAR world, and they've hit a nerve. Denny Hamlin, after dominating the Phoenix race with one of the fastest cars on track, was on the verge of finally clinching his elusive Cup Series championship. With 4 laps to go, the Joe Gibbs racing driver had a comfortable lead, seemingly moments away from sealing the deal. But then, chaos erupted. William Byron's tire failure brought out a late caution, triggering NASCAR's green-white checkered overtime rule. That single moment upended everything. Hamlin's crew chief, Chris Gale, made the controversial call to bring the number. 11 Toyota down pit road for 4 fresh tires. It was a move that seemed smart on paper, but as the final laps played out, it became clear just how costly that choice would be. Despite having the speed, Hamlin couldn't navigate the traffic fast enough and dropped to 10th place by the finish line. The championship slipped away in stunning fashion. That's when Freddy Craft, Bubba Wallace's longtime spotter, didn't hold back. On his podcast appearance shortly after the race, Kraft delivered an unfiltered assessment of Gale's decision and the entire NASCAR overtime format that allowed this collapse to happen.
And I think there's a lot of Monday morning quarterbacks saying Gale should have done 2. Obviously, in the hindsight, yes, he probably should have done 2. For Gale, he just put 4 on and it worked out. He took the lead off of turn 2 essentially on the first lap. So I got the best car. I'm going to fire 4 on it and let my guy go execute a restart like he just did and win the championship.
Then he added the punch.
So I don't even know that even if Lambert told him these guys are coming on 2, he probably said, all right, I don't give a shit. Like we're going to go beat him like we just did.
Kraft's brutal honesty captured the frustration many felt, not just about the strategy, but about the system itself. And he didn't stop there. He turned his attention to NASCAR's green-white checkered rule, suggesting it's fundamentally flawed and skews race outcomes in ways no other sport would accept.
We're doing this stuff. We want to act like stick and ball sports. We want to have Game 7 moments. When have you ever seen a Super Bowl where they got a 30-point lead in the fourth quarter and we just go, it. We're going to go to overtime. Now next score wins. Get rid of the green-white checkers. I've said that on here for years. You get rid of the green-white checker, you got the guy that deserves to win the championship, wins the championship yesterday. I feel like nothing good has come from these green-white checkers except for wrecks on restarts and stupid happening.
His comparison might seem dramatic, but it's not without merit. NASCAR's green-white checkered rule was introduced in 2004 to prevent races from ending under caution. Initially, there was just 1 attempt allowed. That changed to 3 in 2010. And then in 2017, NASCAR introduced unlimited attempts, meaning a race could theoretically go on indefinitely until a green flag finish is achieved. It was this very rule that upended Hamlin's night. Despite running the most dominant race, a single late race caution and an overtime sprint changed everything. It was, in many ways, the cruelest twist in a career filled with near misses. To make matters more painful for Hamlin, his season had been nothing short of extraordinary. He had put together 6 wins, led countless laps, and entered Phoenix with momentum, and more than just professional ambition was on the line. Hamlin had dedicated this season to his father, who has been dealing with health issues. At Phoenix, I changed my driving style and changed my habits. I went to bed with halos in my eyes after looking at screens and data. I feel like there's so much freed up time that it was taking up, I don't know what I'm going to do, he said after the loss. His heartbreak was palpable. When I walk into the bus and see my mom and give her a hug the first time, she's just essentially the same as I was post-race. She was in shock as well, but was like, it wasn't meant to be, Hamlin revealed. If they have strong emotions one way or another, that funnels into me, but they do a good job of being pretty level. I saw they didn't let it bother them too much, so I modeled myself after them for my kids. Freddy Craft, however, sees it differently. While many have blamed Chris Gale's decision to take 4 tires instead of 2, Craft believes the issue is systemic, not strategic. He wasn't just defending Gale. He was attacking the framework of modern NASCAR itself.
You can't be mad that Jesse Love won and mad that Denny lost because they're the same scenario. Then neither one of them would have won the full season format. Jesse was 200 points behind Connor. Denny was like 90 behind whoever was leading. So, they've just brought two really fast race cars. They both deserve but you can't be mad that Jesse brought a really fast race car and won that race, and then be upset that Denny brought a really fast race car and didn't win.
This broader point strikes at the core of NASCAR's current playoff system. Critics argue that the one-race championship finale is too volatile, too susceptible to randomness, and doesn't reward a full season of excellence. Even NASCAR legends like Richard Petty and Kevin Harvick have weighed in. Petty, speaking on Hamlin's four-tire decision, said, "The Cup people spend that much money to run a race, and then they don't let them have it for just a few tires? I mean, this guy spent $15 or $20 million to put the car on the racetrack. He's handicapped because he's not got enough tires." There's no question that the rulebook and strategy options created the environment for chaos, and Bubba Wallace, whose team was directly affected by the same dynamics this season, is clearly letting Kraft be the voice for their frustration. While Wallace himself hasn't made an official statement, his team's continued outspokenness, through Kraft and other channels, sends a clear message. They're fed up with the structure that turns domination into disappointment with one late yellow flag. It's also worth noting that Kraft's comments reflect more than just a knee-jerk reaction. This frustration has been building over time, especially as teams invest tens of millions into building fast cars, only to watch random variables dictate outcomes. For drivers and teams who operate on the razor's edge of performance and pressure, it's not just about the loss, it's about the feeling of helplessness when rules override excellence. Meanwhile, Joe Gibbs Racing and Hamlin are left to pick up the pieces of another championship gone awry. It's unclear how this loss will affect team morale or the offseason decisions around strategy and personnel. But one thing is certain, Freddy Craft's words are reverberating. He's pulled no punches, defending his peers' crew chief while also slamming the very framework that decided this year's title. Whether you agree with him or not, his perspective is shining a harsh light on NASCAR's most debated rules. In a sport where milliseconds matter and strategy can make or break legacies, a single rule, the green-white checkered finish, has become a flashpoint for one of the most intense debates in modern NASCAR history. Will NASCAR make changes? Will the playoff format evolve? Will overtime limits be revisited? For now, those answers remain uncertain, but Bubba Wallace's camp has made their stance clear. Something has to change, because in their eyes, what happened in Phoenix wasn't just a bad break. It was a broken system on full display.